You're still watching Nile TV International from Cairo. Hello and welcome to another special edition covering here the major stories happening around Egypt, the region and the world. And with us now live over the phone is Dr. Mohamad Ezaby, the political affairs expert and the professor of international relations. Dr. Ezaby, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Dr. Ezaby, allow me to start with His Excellency's speech on Saturday on the occasion marking the 44th anniversary of the Sinai Liberation Day. The President stressed that the Sinai Liberation is a defining moment in Egypt's history, underscoring the nation's commitment to safeguard every inch of its territory. The President also said that the future of this region cannot witness and cannot be built on occupation, destruction and blood spilling, but should be built on cooperation and building and peace. And of course he mentioned Gaza, he mentioned the Palestinian cause, he mentioned Arab national security as Egypt's own national security. So first of all, a brief comment on President Sisi's speech on Saturday.
Well, in a strongly worded and strategically layered statement, Egypt has outlined its vision for the future of the Middle East at the moment described as post-critical and transformative. The message reflects broader geopolitical reading by Cairo that the region is not merely facing instability, but is potentially undergoing a deliberate attempt to restructuring under ideological and strategic pressure. From the analytical standpoint, Egypt is signaling clear rejection of what it perceives as engineered chose efforts aimed to rid the rowing border, weakening state institutions and fragmenting national identities. This aligns with long-standing Egyptian doctrine emphasizing the preservation of the nation-state system and as the backbone of regional order. Always, His Excellency President Fattah al-Sisi sent many great messages in his speech. If we talk about the Palestinian front, the tone become even more decisive. Egypt intenses of the full implementation of the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire agreement highlights its role as a central mediator. Also about Iran, His Excellency assured that the diplomatic way is the only way to solve any struggle. We don't need to escalation, we don't need to close straits. So always Egypt as a country of peace, and His Excellency President Fattah al-Sisi, a man of peace, always called for diplomatic resolutions for any struggle in any place in the world.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Ezaby. Now, I want to ask you about the latest developments in the U.S.-Iran situation. Mr. Trump had ordered his envoys, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, not to take the plane and go to Islamabad after he learned that the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi had left Islamabad, of course, after meeting there with the Pakistani Army Chief and the Pakistani Prime Minister. Mr. Araghchi is off to Oman, and then he's reported by the official Iranian news agencies as scheduled to return to Iran and then go to Russia after that. Now, Mr. Trump said also that the Iranian, his envoys don't have to take an 18-hour flight to talk about nothing. This is how he put it. But he also said that this decision to suspend his envoy's voyage does not mean a return to war. And he also said that the Iranians can call us, can call the United States whenever they want. And he finally also said that he had received a better offer from the Iranians, a better response from the Iranians, and he claimed that 10 minutes after his decision was made public not to send Mr. Witkoff and Mr. Kushner, he received an even better response from the Iranians, but it was not enough. Your comment on the entire situation, including the Arakchi's marathon voyages not only to Islamabad but to Oman and to Moscow.
Well, Mr. Mohammed, you remember that I told you before that the war will back again. And this ceasefire or fragile ceasefire is just Donald Trump wants to take some threats, wants to send many weapons, a lot of weapons, especially air defense, want to send a lot of air strikes, planes, rockets, pump like GBU, grease pump to the Middle East. Without sending Qalibaf to Islamabad, no negotiations. I don't care about Abbas Arakchi or what he says. I don't care about Masoud Pezeshkian or what he says. I only care about the Revolutionary Guard and what they say. And Qalibaf is the representative of the Revolutionary Guards in Iran. They are the only party who can take decision in Iran. Now, no way to back to negotiations. Just we wait some days, some little days, and we back to the war. Today, after Donald Trump say no back to the war again, I'm sure that he will be back to the war again. Always Donald Trump wanted to deceive his enemies and his point of view, wanted to make some confusion on his decisions, especially he said that we don't know to who we can negotiate, but we will negotiate with the one who can represent Iran, and he know who represent Iran, Revolutionary Guards. Donald Trump, by his word today, by his speech today, I'm sure he will back to the war, especially that Benjamin Netanyahu started to make great airstrikes on Hezbollah from 2 hours. Then Iran can consider this as a pro of ceasefire, and they can back to the war. Okay. I assured you before, no way to end this war before changing the government system in Iran. That is the point of view of Benjamin Netanyahu. And Donald Trump do what Benjamin Netanyahu wants.
Yes, you are sticking to your expectation and prediction, Dr. Ezaby. And as you understand, we have here, we host here many guests and many analysts. Some of them, like yourself, expect a return to the war, and others expect that because the two sides, the American side and the Iranian side, not necessarily the Israeli side, because the Israeli side, it's clear that they are the ones who want this war to go on forever if they can, but some other analysts do say that, expect that because they are both pressured, the Americans and the Iranians, they both want a face-saving exit, so this is what the game is all about. And of course, our job here is to discuss our guest. So whenever I have a guest that expects war to go back, I have to take the other point of view, and vice versa. So let me tell you this. Okay, so you're saying we're going back to war, but the Americans, I mean, it's very obvious that the Americans want an end to this war and would rather have a peace deal. They want to end this peacefully. Mr. Trump has said it many times. He has refrained from striking energy facilities in Iran by reversing the ultimatums, by extending the ceasefire, by saying an open time frame, by saying now there is no time frame for the war, by saying the Iranians can talk to us whenever they want, but seemingly he wants more concessions from the Iranians. And obviously he's pressured at home by the high gasoline prices, the inflation, the the pressure of the Democrats, who every other day go for a war powers vote. And then you have that 60-day issue or 90-day issue, and then you have the Congress elections. So he's pressured. And the Iranians, of course, are very pressured. They've lost a lot militarily and economically, and they are suffering from the siege, the blockade on their ports at the moment. So they, too, would like to end this war, but they want a face-saving exit, just like the Americans. And Mr. Trump cannot go out without the uranium, without getting the uranium, because that would be considered a strategic loss if he doesn't get the uranium. So maybe with the Pakistani, Turkish, Egyptian, Omani, Russian, Saudi, and other mediation, and with Europe's will, because Europe is being negatively affected, with China's push, who want the Strait of Hormuz open, maybe all of these diplomatic efforts will lead to something. Because also, yes. That's the other side. That's the other point of view.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talk about Hormuz Strait. Okay.
Yes.
I told you before that Iran can't face the Navy of the United States. And if the Navy of the United States try to open Hormuz Strait, they can open it easily. Although they face some loss in their ships, but they will open it easily. Except Iran make a great explosion in Hormuz Strait, which can stop any maritime in Hormuz Strait. That is the only way that Iran can close Hormuz Strait, by make a great explosion in Hormuz Strait. And I think if the war back soon, I think Iran will do this. Will make a great explosion in Hormuz Strait by any way. Also, Donald Trump, if he didn't want to back to the war, he will not force many generals to resign. Especially these generals didn't accept this war, didn't accept to send military troops to the land of Iran.
Yeah, and not only the ground troops chief of staff, but also the Navy chief also was fired. Yeah.
So many generals resigned. They refused the plan in the head of Donald Trump. So Donald Trump insists to complete his work, insists to control the oil of Iran, like what he did before in Venezuela.
The Venezuela syndrome again. The Venezuela syndrome, yeah.
Yes. So no way to stop the war.
Okay. Again, I mean, this is a very valid, reasons for why you think this war might continue. Again, I'm just posing what might be also valid reasons for why this war may have come to an end, and that we might not see any military confrontation again. Let me just pose another thing. I mean, the Israel-Lebanon situation. It's very obvious that the Americans want this Abrahamic peace, whatever. They want peace between Lebanon and Israel. They've reached the ceasefire. They've extended the ceasefire for 3 more weeks a couple of days ago. Trump is waiting for the Israeli war crime suspect prime minister and the Lebanese president to go to Washington in the upcoming 3 weeks. So if we have calmness on the Lebanon-Israel file, then probably this will also relate to the U.S.-Iran file, because if we have a return of military confrontations between the U.S. and Iran with Israel's most probable participation, then most probably the Lebanese-Israel diplomatic file will be buried. What do you think?
Well, now I appreciate the effort which done by President Joseph Aoun when he succeed to isolate Hezbollah out of the file of Lebanon. He made an agreement to ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel, not between Hezbollah and Israel. So he isolated Hezbollah as a party from the Lebanese country. It's a very great mind from Joseph Aoun. So Hezbollah, it still attack Israel. So Israel returned back to attack Hezbollah. But we didn't say...
Sir, Israel doesn't need any reason to violate the ceasefire.
They forced by Donald Trump.
Israel has been violating the ceasefire every single day in Gaza since the Sharm el-Sheikh deal, and has been violating the ceasefire also in Lebanon every single day.
Okay, but you know the relation between Lebanon and France.
Yes.
Okay, and France and the European countries make a great transfer on Donald Trump to force Benjamin Netanyahu to stop any airstrike towards Beirut. He attacked only Hezbollah. Up till now, he just attacked Hezbollah, south of Lebanon. He didn't return back to attack Beirut.
I understand what you're saying, sir, but of course what you're saying here would probably put Lebanon in danger of social unrest. Let me just put it that way. And that's the easiest term, and that's the lightest term I can use. If this is indeed what's happening, what you are saying, then social unrest is a big risk in Lebanon. And again, that's the lightest term that can be used. Isn't that the case?
No danger in Lebanon, especially after the agreement will be signed next month in Washington between Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu. No danger at all.
Well, I guess the solution, wouldn't you agree with me, Dr. Ezaby? Unfortunately, we have to break for the news in just 2 minutes. But wouldn't you agree with, that the solution is 1701? Just implement the UN resolution. A full Israeli withdrawal from the occupied lands and the disarmament of Hezbollah. I mean, if they go together, there you have it. Just apply 1701 instead of getting Israel to inside of southern Lebanon. I mean, what do you think? I mean, just very shortly, isn't 1701 the solution?
I think the ceasefire will continue between Lebanese government and Israel, not between Hezbollah and Israel.
All right. Thank you very much. Dr. Mohamad Ezaby, always a pleasure to have you with us, the political affairs expert and the professor of international relations.